she DTF.
She tell me she
DTF. I heard she DTF. What? And you ain't hanging with the team if you ain't down to fuck. Okay.
Hey.
Well, Lord, my bag got that
Hey. Welcome to DTF. It's the Darryl Timaree Fun Hour.
Hello.
Hello, everybody. Welcome. So this is, for those who don't know, for some reason, the greatest sex education comedy game show in the known universe. Woo.
Yeah. We've been doing it. We'll keep doing it until we can't do it anymore. And I think that's up to you in November. So,
Yeah.
do what you can.
Yeah.
Because I only do what I have to.
That's fair. That's fair. All right, so we are your hosts. This is, I don't know, Darryl, amazing comedian, Darryl Charles.
Yeah, and an amazing human being who not only has taught me so much about human sexuality in these past few years, but has also probably tripled my grind, because it's impossible to not be grind-inspired when you are near Dr. Timaree.
Oh, thanks. That's really nice. And then we have a couple incredible guests, both of whom have been on this show before, and we're really excited to have back. So, educator, community organizer, longtime fixture in the Philly LGBT scene, events producer, an all-around incredible human who always looks amazing every time I see her. Give it up for Ashley Coleman.
Hi, y'all. Thank you for having me. I'm really excited to be back.
Cool. And our other guest is a comedian, and if you remember him from the last time I was with him on the show, a man with an incredible knowledge of BIPOC porn stars. The dude, it's really good, and I'm happy he's back. Give it up for Setoiyo.
Hey, so happy to be here. And yes, I know a lot about porn, like too much, some would say, and I'm okay with it. I'm proud. Yeah.
It's knowledge.
Yes.
I heard about that game. I wasn't on that episode, and I heard about it from multiple sources afterwards. It was like wonderkind.
Yeah, I was knocking them. I was knocking them over. It was like I was.
The most
out
impressive
here.
part was I was, I don't get to build these games, right? The games are Timaree's job, typically. So on the off chance that she's otherwise indisposed and then I have to make the game, I'm not used to this stuff. So I was trying to make the early ones easy and make the late ones hard and get all the things right. And this dude just showed up as if he helped me put the thing together. It was just yeah, whatever. Yes.
Yeah, I was. I have done comedy nationally and was doing it as a career before our president showed us he didn't believe in science. And I think that game show was one of my proudest moments. I was like, y'all don't know.
Sometimes you don't know that the knowledge that you've accrued, one, exists, and two, will come in handy.
Yeah, I thought this was just me respecting talented performers. I was like, I get to play a game and I know these people. Oh, y'all finished. It's over. Oh, yeah.
That reminds me of the time that I was at a quizzo and one of the rounds was name that celebrity sex tape based just entirely on one still from it. I've been preparing my whole life.
Yep. You feel powerful. Honestly, you just tell everybody, y'all gonna need to back up because I'm about to get busy out here.
Exactly.
They look at you.
Does anyone need to use the bathroom?
Yep.
Because now is the time.
Motherfuckers was looking at me like I was Obi-Wan. I just had the Force. I was like, you move. Separating. Again, one of my most proudest moments. Thank you.
It was a good time.
We'll see how it goes this time. It's a different game this time.
So let's get to our first regular segment, the fucking
news.
Yeah, it's where we cover news that's about fucking.
About fucking.
All right.
Yeah. All right. So our first story has to do with how the porn industry has been affected by the pandemic. And for the most part, a lot of it's actually really good because performers are being able to make content on their own for the last several years anyway. porn production had been sort of like on the decline in terms of popularity and how much money it was making. And there was a lot more interest and investment in cam modeling and like bespoke and, you know, particular content made by creators. And this has made that really salient, that people can not only make their own work and profit directly from it without giving a company a cut, but you can set your own standards in terms of like your safety conditions, and taking care of a lot of the serious issues of workplace safety and respect that the porn industry is known for not always handling really well. So yeah, good stuff.
It's pretty awesome. I find it very funny that it's like, you know, they were like, well, performers seem to be fine. It's the non-performing producers that are having an issue. And then when you talk to the performers, it's like, yeah, turns out all those people are scumbags.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We didn't like them. They made our lives harder and also dangerous. And now they can't. Like,
right. Right.
The one thing about the president taking away society is that the society that I was a part of had a lot of ne'er-do-wells. And because we were in porn and essentially thrown away thought-wise by society, no one was really there to cape for anyone.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Anything that kind of gets rid of the predatory behavior of these industries, I'm all for, because I think while the, you know, of course, you know, the predatory nature of this and the systemic racism that was also infecting the porn community, it's now one of these things where you get to see performers that you like and that you follow create content that, you know, they feel completely okay with, or as close to completely okay with as possible, and you get to then give to them directly. And to me, this is an improvement. I mean, when I look at the porn industry, they've had a number of trailblazers, which has been very important. You know, you have your Nina Hartleys, you have your Shawn Michaels, from, you know, both a feminist perspective and a Black male performer perspective. It's great to have those trailblazers, but it's like, I would like it if they didn't have to do that shit again, if there didn't have to be another wave, because that means the problem is not actually being addressed and resolved. And through this, it's like, yeah, man, it's now they get to have more control over what they're doing, as opposed to being a part of an industry that has let people who have infected other performers with the HIV virus still get to make a living in said industry. And I'm talking about Mark Wallace, he's a piece of shit. So it's like, that side of their industry just shouldn't be trusted, so far as I see it, from what I see.
Yeah, absolutely. I completely agree with the fact that we're seeing racism in all aspects of society, right? We're really shining a light on racism in all aspects of society, and porn is experiencing the exact same oppressions that mainstream media is experiencing in hiring, in casting, who's behind the camera, who's writing, whose voices are being heard. So instead of it being viewed as a niche market, which, you know, there are still folks that are going to search for BBW, there are also tons of folks that are looking for two naked bodies that are flopping around, right? And so at the end of the day, having individually cultivated content, creating that control, bringing that control back to the individual, is opening up so much more to the porn community as a whole.
Yeah. That's actually been the trend for a number of years. As the internet has proliferated, as people have gotten high-speed connections, it's become a lot easier to get that, well, the one-on-one thing from, you know, cam modeling, and then also very much porn tailored for you that you pay a premium for, where it's like, I will say your name, I will be referring to the things that you like. Which is cool, and like, it's given the power to the performers. And I just love the fact that, like, yeah, the performers are like, I don't have to go back.
Yeah.
But I bet you they will, if it's a company that's good, if it's a director that's reputable, if it's a safe environment, and they'll have even more agency to speak on their own behalf, because they can walk away and go back to the thing that was making them money.
I've found it interesting, the number of performers who in the last few years are monogamous, and it'll be like a couple that makes all their content together. And I think like when I was growing up, my idea of porn was like, that doesn't even make any sense. But now it's kind of like, well, first of all, in this particular climate is going to be the safest option for people until we have a vaccine.
Yeah, that's like growing your own food.
Right.
But it's also, you know, there's a growing market for the idea of like, my porn isn't just for seeing, you know, hard objects go into wet space. You know, there's also a desire for it to seem like intimate and like that I'm getting a close-up look of your very real life. So that has clearly a market. And a lot of the cam models I know and the people who've been making content for a while have also been saying that like the emphasis has been less on the sex acts and more on the like the girlfriend experience and more on the like spending time and attention, which for them actually is kind of frustrating because it's more work than just like masturbating on camera. But for those who feel more comfortable with that kind of work, there's definitely a market for it.
Yeah. And I mean, they get to set the prices.
Right. Yeah. We're also seeing an uptick in like peer-to-peer mentorship. So like paid peer-to-peer mentorship. So like new performers are able to connect with folks that have been in this industry for years in a way that wasn't accessible. And I think that especially because of COVID, folks have to get really creative with their hustle. And so that means, you know, you may exhaust your viewership with hardcore content, and having that peer-to-peer mentorship that you can get paid for, which we always should have been being paid for all along, it opens up a whole new world of opportunities, and it's really exciting, I think, for performers specifically.
I'm just happy that you motherfuckers gonna have to learn these performers' names, dog. You got to, you're gonna have to learn their names, and that I think to that end, which I always found to be the easiest thing to do. It's like if I'm actually liking this and taking this in, I want to see that person again. Who are they? Like it's a simple, basic thing, and it does make me think, man, you know, because I know people that have, you know, Darryl and I have talked. I know performers. I know some performers, some who are retired, and it's like, damn, it would have been nice if you would have had this 10, 12 years ago when you were involved in this, because honestly, like it might have kept you in it and you might have had a better experience while doing it. You know, like you don't have to work with James Dean. You don't have to, like, exactly. You don't have to work with the Predator. And it's like, it's one of these things now that you're seeing that in these spaces, which to me, when you watch the acts of sex and whatever, you want that person to be in a situation where they feel as comfortable as they possibly can with a person that they have affection towards in that way, even if it's just on a performance level. You want that. And now you go have that, and you got to learn their names. I love it.
Yeah, I one of the things that I like about porn is the idea that the person on the screens, or the people on the screen, are having fun doing the thing that they're doing. That like when they have to yell cut, it's like, I just need a little bit of water, and then like cool, and it's like, all right, let's get back to it. You know, and especially not to talk too much about myself, but especially when it comes to some of the acts these people do, it sucks to watch that, witness it, and then find out later that they were under duress. Like that just completely, it's like, oh no, you know what I mean? Like I already feel bad enough for not paying for it, but then to find out they didn't like it, oh my goodness, pay for your porn.
But that's not even a porn-specific problem. I think about like Last Tango in Paris and the fact that that is like memorialized assault, and that the people involved in creating it like never faced any consequences. So like this is also goes back to, we've been talking about like intimacy coordinators for love scenes for like mainstream movies too, and this is just a thing that is like, why did we not do this before? It's so simple. Like you choreograph fight scenes, why wouldn't you choreograph this? Because it has just as much possibility of going wrong.
Really wrong, yeah. Like you can injure someone in a lot more ways if you don't practice this stuff. But you know, it's America, I think it's very necessary to show that or explain that, like the reason why these people were allowed to be in these positions of power on top of, systematic oppression or whatever, is that, on the whole, America doesn't care about sex workers. And when you don't care about them, you don't care about who's around them. You don't care when they actually say, like, this is bad. It's sad, but there is definitely an air of, well, don't play in traffic if you don't want to get hit. Like, it's like you deserve bad things happening to you because you've made a choice that, while I am making sure it's $1 billion industry, I can sit at home and say is morally wrong. And,
Isn't that wild? What an inhumane thought process, right? You are going to give me pleasure and I am going to hate you at the core. And I'm going to believe that you should not have rights. I'm going to believe that you are not a person. Meanwhile, I will lust after you in a way that is unhealthy and many times vicious and violent. Like, but I need you, but I want you to, but if you die, it's your fault. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a crazy, crazy concept. It's like, nah, these people are providing a service that's helping you out immensely, so long as you are, handling it properly. But respect them, because you don't want them to do it. You don't want this service available to you no more. Because when you do shit like this, when you actively hate against these people and try to make their lives harder, it's like, yo, you are sitting here contradicting yourself. But again, yes, America, and we generally just hate sex workers. We hate a lot of people, actually. I think we're among the most hateful, probably the most hateful country, really.
I mean, we spend a lot of money on shooting at people. So
man, if we do that,
there's got to be a little bit of hate behind that, dog.
Woo, the hate in our heart.
Foundation of America is, oppression, shooting, pillaging.
But God forbid you put taxes on tea. Hey,
that's
you
where we
stand
draw
for
the
something.
line. We have to have principles here. America got that personality disorder.
Me and this 3/5 of a person over here do not accept this tariff.
Yeah.
We are free people.
And you don't believe us? We're going to put us Indians.
Which is so interesting. How much tax money would they be making if they would legalize all sex work?
Man,
they'd be rolling in money. It's, either you want capitalism to work for you or against you. They need to get it together. I just,
Hey, I mean, this country doesn't want to survive, so
it wants some people to survive.
Really wants to be canceled so hard. Just
yeah.
I'd be so fast to cancel capitalism, but if I say that 2 more times, someone's gonna knock on my door.
Yeah.
So.
Well, on that note, and in the interest of time, are you ready to go to our next story?
Yes, please.
Yay! This one's sad.
Yeah.
So, the quarantine, right? We're all theoretically separated from people. And if you happen to live with someone with whom you like having sex, maybe you've still been getting regular sex. But for a lot of people who don't live with a person with whom they like to have sex, that's not been the case. And it is having serious consequences for the mental and physical health of this country. People are also taking risks because, this is not a binary thing where there's zero risk and then there's tons of risk. There's gradations of risk. And we need to acknowledge that the need for wanted touch is a real need. And the way that I usually put it is like, we need oxygen more frequently than we need water, but it doesn't make water not a need. It just means our doses are different. And we have lots of evidence that human beings do better, are healthier, heal faster if they get regular wanted touch. And we have immune problems and depression and anxiety when we aren't getting those needs met. So how's everybody feeling?
Hey.
Oh, that was that real shit. I remember the first 3 months of, I'm pretty used to being by myself and being alone. So, there was that part of me, it was like, you was an only child and your mom worked 3rd shift. You was alone a lot as a kid. So I was like, welcome to my world. This old hat for me. I'm Batman. I live in the cave. And I was good with it, and it still am. It's a necessary thing to do, but it wasn't lost on me that after about like 45 days, I was like, this is unhealthy. And I need to be touched and touched. I need to be touched. I need to be touching a person, because it is an actual, I was like, oh my God, we are people. We need this thing. Like, we actively need each other. We need that aspect. And it became a thing where, at least for me, I just found myself to be incredibly grumpy and short with situations. So if I had to do like a Zoom comedy show or whatever, I would fulfill my obligations. I'd give them hell and give them everything that I could. But when my part was done, I always made sure that I could leave. I just needed to get off it, because I was actively seeing people that I could not interact with. And it was starting to mess with me emotionally, and I knew it was messing with me emotionally, but I also knew I couldn't keep on looking at them. I couldn't do it. So I had to actually detach myself. But that actually created another problem, because then you're detaching yourself. You know what I'm saying? So you're just in that sort of vicious cycle. So it started to hit me just like, yo, I just started saying less. Like, I remember there was like a week-long period where I just didn't turn on the lights. I didn't need to. The sun was out, but I was like, nah, we live in the darkness now, dog. You know, it's like, it is like, yo, this isn't healthy. And then I know from some of my friends now, they have anxieties about leaving the house. You know, like, it's creating a lot of issues that now people who didn't have those anxieties now have those anxieties. You know, we fucked up.
I mean, yeah, when the president takes away society,
yeah,
that's what happens.
Yeah, but
I'll never not refer to it that way.
Let me tell you this though. Woo! When I finally was able, woo! When you come,
you mean with another person, or
yeah,
just in
boy,
general?
I tell you what, better go on, huh? Shit. You gonna want to sit in it. You say, let's do it again. Just like what you would already suggest, but you'd be like, no, we got, you know what I'm saying? We need
before
this.
you even start the first one, you'd be like, all right, cool. You good for 3, right?
Good for 3 of these, right? I've been doing
Good.
crunches,
All right, cool. We can start
back to normal, yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Good. I just got to burn one real fast.
Yeah.
The second one's gonna be better, I promise. But yeah, it's skin hunger and touch starvation are the new terms. Skin hunger I knew, touch starvation I learned. But yeah, it makes total and complete sense. Like, we're all sacrificing a lot by isolating and staying sheltering in place. But the long-term effects of this, because like, I mean, I'm living with my wife, so I'm not completely devoid of touch, you know, but like, imagine the person who, you know, like like the article reference was like, if someone was poly but they just didn't live with their partners, that's a person who's accustomed to a lot of intimacy, a lot of social, you know, touch and interactions with a variety of people for a variety of needs, and then that all just gets stopped and you just have to Zoom with them.
Yeah.
Ah, man.
Yeah, it's interesting. COVID has really reminded me of back in the day, we used to call it lesbian bed death. So I may have experienced that in my 20s a little bit when I still called myself a lesbian and not queer. And it's really interesting. So sort of COVID coupled with that push-pull of like trying to jump back in and to double dutch of the anxiety. And so like the longer you go without intimacy, the harder and harder it gets to jump back into it. And it sort of breeds this like insecurity and am I still a sexual person? I mean, this may be coming from the perspective of someone who was raised as a woman. And so like sexuality is not something that is consistently validated around me, and then being isolated on top of it. So it's like, am I allowed to be a sexual person even after the vaccine? What does this mean in like the new well, we're not even post-COVID, in the COVID world. Yeah. So, but I'm ready for those ropes, honey. Let's jump. Like,
it does become that thing, right? Like, where it's like every time I get on Zoom, for instance, with this, it's like, yo, if I were seeing these people right here, like if in the old world, if we were doing this show, I'd go up and hug Timaree because I don't get to see her all the time. That would feel good. I'd hug the shit out of Darryl Charles.
Like, yeah, he made that happen no matter what. I'd
be aggressively hugging this man. Okay? You don't say no. I want you to know this.
Oh, I'll never say no.
He didn't say no. And even like if I get to know Ashley, that may result in a hug or a handshake at the end of the show. It's like, so when I see these people, that's the first thing that I'm like, oh man, that's what I would have done in the old world.
Yeah.
The old world.
The last quote unquote, the last acquaintance hug that I had pre all of the, society removal was at DTF. It was Nick Cupsey.
Yeah,
he was like, hey, I know we're not supposed to touch, but I'm gonna hug you. I was like, man, bring it in. And then that was it. And then I went home and I locked the doors.
Yep. Yeah.
Didn't even think about it at that point. You know what I mean? But yeah, didn't think about it. I think I saw Nick on another show and we were just like, hey, you're the last person I hugged. And we was just like, oh, isn't that sad? And then,
I had a dear friend have a birthday recently, and in order to facilitate a little bit of this human touch in a safe way, her wife was creating basically a glory hole for hugging. So it's like a shower curtain, so you can hug each other and not be in the same air and stuff.
The old, what is it? Is that Mormons or Scientology? Who has the?
I think that might be both of them actually.
Is it?
I believe that is a
Judaism?
misconception about certain factions of Judaism. Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I don't think that's a common practice.
It's not a common practice. I was completely wrong. Yeah. However.
But that said, the New York Health Department has, we bring this up on every show, said glory holes are a way to mitigate risk so you don't have face-to-face interaction.
Boom.
As an AFAB person, I feel left out. I feel left out of this entire glory hole experience, and we need something. I mean, a Patty's patio or something.
I think you could still do basically, like what I envision is like the opposite of a dental dam.
Yes.
So like you are sitting, not you, whoever, not to volunteer you for this. But yeah, let's say a person with a vulva wants to be a part of this. They can sit on a chair, right? And we could put up your Zoom green screen, cut a space in it, and then there's just that space.
That sounds delightful.
And you apply genitals to the space and use space dock.
Yeah. I mean, we don't have to do this. I mean, we're talking about something that is going to happen. It's not getting better. So it's like, we're going to have to find more creative ways to interact with, because it really, to me, a lot of this is kind of shown, it's forced everyone to put priority in terms of, like, now people got to have like a bubble, or a pod. Of people, it's like now it's like, damn, man, like you could be the homie for real, love you to death, but you outside the pod. Oh man, it doesn't mean that I don't love you. You just didn't, and I'm not in your pod. Like my mom was like, you can't come home. Like I was like, maybe I should come home for a week and see you. And she's like, if you come home for a week, you need to be by yourself for 2 weeks before you come see me. And I was like, Mama, it's me. And she's like, yeah, I miss you tremendously, but I got this little boy and your cousin here now. And they're in my pod, and you could fuck that up. And then I'm like, you know what? You're right. I'm jealous, but you're right. I ain't in the pod.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that there's, much like with the HIV crisis, post-HIV, like the heat of the HIV crisis, there was a really big surge in communication about status, in talking about all different kinds of STIs. And I'm hoping that COVID, I don't have much experience in the HEC community, but I'm hoping that all y'all folks will get it together and realize that like, it's real easy to spread shit around. So in the same way that like my mask protects you and your mask protects me, and we in the queer community learn that with condoms, I'm really hoping that broader society can figure out that communication is sort of the key to all of this. It's going to be the key to hookup culture. It's going to be the key to long-term relationships, monogamous, poly relationships, all of it. And I'm concerned because straight folks don't have a great history in wanting to believe science.
My freedoms!
Right. But cheers to hoping that it kind of gets people together and gets the conversation started.
Yeah, this is gonna force us to be more honest. I think in order for this to fully take hold, quite frankly, we gonna need a president that actually believes in science. So in November, don't fuck up, because we can't go on like this.
This is on y'all. I know we preach to the choir a lot, but I don't even trust the choir.
Yeah, so y'all gonna have to.
This is dead serious. All right,
yeah.
Anyway.
If I hear one more person with a protest ballot, I'm gonna lose my entire mind. Like, protest in the streets. Don't protest with your ballots. Like, it's.
You protest with them ballot, motherfuckers. You helped get us here in the first place. Don't
Exactly.
do it again.
I mean, no, you can. Yeah, I understand when it's. I protest with my ballot all of the time when it has to do with local elections.
Exactly.
I go outside of party affiliations. I'm really just looking for the people who I like what they say, or I just like that they don't say what everyone else is. Sometimes I do that, like, oh man, this person's completely out the box and I don't like these other people, and so, yeah, but then when it comes to the big ones, it's like, the system is rigged.
Yeah.
We can't not say it is, but when it comes to the big important ones, all of the work that goes, these people have been working on this stuff for years. You can't change that in one vote. These things that are changing, the things that you want to change, these people have worked their entire careers to keep the same. So you have to put a little more work than one day or one vote.
This is why I would support, I am pretty stuck in like what party I have to vote for obvious reasons, but like I would support somebody who just said like, let's do ranked choice voting. Like that alone, I would be like about it because then we would no longer be stuck in this. And I think a perfect example, and I just love that you pay attention to like local politics, Darryl, because like that's where just stuff we have a measure of control. Yep. And Philly's been experiencing unprecedented amount of speaking up and people protesting and making very clear what their wishes are. Yep. And then the city council met up and one person, Kendra Brooks, voted against the budget and was like, you can't give the police all this money. There were two people voted no for other reasons. But after all of this, we've made it super clear. How we feel, and nothing. They don't take even a dime out of the bloated PPD budget. So
and when that happens, you need to contact those people and let them know that like, I've never cared about you before, but now my job is to make sure you have to go get one.
Exactly. You got to care about this. I mean, case in point, I say this to people all the time. Your president doesn't believe in science, and now you can't hug your loved ones. So, you know what I mean? Like literally, right. That demon got into office and then cut the programs that their sole job is to look for this shit, a pandemic, is to monitor this shit. That was one of the first fucking things he got rid of. And now you can't cheat on your partner like you normally do because the motherfucker you supported don't believe in science. How do you feel now? How do you feel?
Oh yeah, how's Ashley Madison doing? Anybody know?
You know, they gotta go under. You ruined the whole business model. I bet you they voted for him. You gotta be honest now because this president that you supported.
It also didn't help. They had a huge data breach.
Yeah, right. That's
right. Know by their.
Yeah.
And there are hackers and there are people who do stuff. This is completely tangential, but like there are hackers and there are bad actors. They call them black hat hackers, and that's racist. But yeah, but please don't forget that a lot of these hacks happen because the passwords that the people in charge set up are the default ones. There are so many companies. Hopefully that's not the case anymore. But typically when someone is hacked, when they actually are and not just using as a cover for being caught and being brought to bear for given responsibility for their actions, it's usually because the password is like password or 1 2 3 4 5 or whatever is in the documentation that came with the thing, as if these companies don't make PDFs for everybody
Man, see, this is what happens when you don't get to touch. You see? You see how
Get mad about PDFs.
the tension. We talking about PDFs now.
Yeah, right. True.
You don't shake a hand for 90 days. You be ranting about PDFs and science. This is a show about fucking.
So speaking of, shall we get back to the fucking in our next regular segment?
Yes. Let's get to the fucking.
All right.
Yeah, it's game time.
So it is game time. So what that means is, since we've taken the show to weekly, I've been bringing back some classic games. So this one is originally from April of 2016, and that is relevant for a couple reasons. All right, first of all, let me show you what we're playing. We're going to do a little Price is Right. That is me as Bob Barker. Yes. Yep. It is a look. We are going to be playing Price is Right for a variety of sex toys. And because prices are different now in 2020 as 2016, I'm curious how y'all want to play with this, but you could be aiming for 2020, or you could be aiming for 2016 if you think the price. No, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take it back. Rewind. I'm going to edit this part out. Here's what's going to happen. You're going to guess an amount and then guess whether it's gone up or down since 2016. All right. Okay. So you got two possibilities here. All right. So you're going to guess the price within a range and then tell me whether you think it costs more or costs less than it did in 2016.
In 2016. So, there was a pretty big event that happened in 2016 that affected the price of everything. And some of you thought that the decision you made was a good one. And look at us now.
Especially the price of freedom.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. But for a lot of those people, it was a good decision. Yeah. They have a lot more money than they did.
Yeah. Well, I hope they choke on it.
All right. Who would like to go
set on
first?
fire in front of them.
Like the Joker. Okay.
Yeah. Except I want them to be the dude that's at the top of the pyramid, but that's too far.
Anybody have a preference who would like to go first?
I'll go first.
All right, so are you ready? This is our first one. So again, for the folks who are just listening and can't see, could you also describe what this looks like?
Oh, this is a thing. So fellas, especially you selfish ones, when you can't help your woman come, this is what she uses in spite of you. Because you don't want to learn how to be good.
It's for couples.
You don't, but you know what? But he don't care. He's selfish. He already got his. I'm talking to that dude. He got his, and now because you're selfish. You don't understand that she's emotionally disconnected from this relationship long ago, and you persist on as you are. So this tool. You actually probably leave the room when she uses this. You don't like how it sounds when she's having.
Okay,
so this is the tool. So I'm sorry. I think we know who I'm talking to. We know these men. I think the price of this has I think it's.
So while you're thinking about it, I'm just going to tell people what this is. This is the Eva vibe for couples, and it looks kind of like a little bug creature because it's got a big vibrating body, and then it has little arms that can be tucked in the vulva, so it basically will just hold in place against a clitoris, which means that if you want to put hard things and wet things, you can still do that at the same time. So
that was a much nicer and much more thorough description than what I gave. But you know what I'm talking about, ladies. You know what Keith does. Keith does nothing. You know this about him. You know this.
Jesus.
Know him.
All right. How much do you think it costs, Setoiyo?
I think I'm gonna err on the side of hope here. I think the price has gone down.
And what do you think the price is?
What do I think the price is now of this?
Yeah.
I would say maybe anywhere from $30 to $40.
Okay. Is that your final answer?
Yeah.
Okay. So the Eva Vibe for couples, when I looked it up today, was retailing for $199.99.
That's crazy. That's fucking
which is
crazy.
a nearly double what it was 4 years ago.
I can't have. See that motherfuckers is dying out here, dog. You go and charge people $200. Nigga, let them have this. We need this. This
To be
woman,
honest,
this-
when I've tried things like this, it's really not great. So
I've never, I
it's
mean,
a lot of work. It is a lot of work.
it's a lot of work, and like I keep adjusting these things because they're not fitting in the flaps that they have ergonomically designed for them to fit in. So, I can only imagine. My ears have a lot less give than labia.
Yo, we really don't want women coming out here. We wouldn't up the price.
There's that.
Bruh.
And do you understand, like, it's a vibrator for couples, but the intensity of that vibration for a penis haver to feel the vibration, I imagine would just be uncomfortable for everybody.
some people love these things.
I don't even think about like folks with penises. I really was thinking about couples that are vulva to vulva for this situation, like with no strap or no inhibitor in between. And it looks like it's silicone, and it might be dishwasher safe, which would up the price. So, I mean, but $200 is too much.
Yeah, I think all that money is in the R&D of the design to make it look like a little Apple product.
Yeah. Hopefully, once
All
it
right.
becomes, once you can make a generic brand of it, they can, still recoup the assets.
Who's up next? Ash, you want to go up next? All right. So let the nice people know what this looks like.
Woo!
Okay, so this is the Pulse 2 Gayborhood, right? Yeah. It looks like a silver Nerf ball was cut in half on wheels, is what my view sort of looks like. Very Roman, if you will.
Like a chariot. Yeah, I see it.
Like a chariot, a very, very 2020 sexual chariot. So let's see. I am going to say it has gone up in price, and it is $56.
Is that your final answer?
That is my final answer.
All right, so the Pulse 2 Gayborhood, made by Hot Octopus, which is the brand. It's the most powerful male stimulator ever created. It is a multi-award-winning oscillating technology. When I looked it up today on their website, it sold for $99.
Wow. You don't want
Which is a decrease of $40.
You know what I'm talking about? You want to talk? See? You see? They want us to come bad. They be like, yo, it's crazy. They can't leave the house.
Oscillating means turning, right? Like a fan?
Well, I mean, there's not like a fan blade in there, but so.
No, it's not the fan blade turning. It's the this of the fan. It's it's getting the whole room where you sit next to your cousin and you keep bumping into each other because it's hot and grandma don't got no AC. That's oscillating. So how in the hell does a male stimulator? I mean,
I'm
like
guessing
to use
it's
my
happening
hips.
more like this.
Yeah, Darryl, you got to buy one. You got to tell me about it.
Yeah, I mean,
I
I
got
feel like you should do some
$99.
research.
Yeah, you just dropped $3,000 on your
They
cat.
took my career away.
Right, yeah. Mine too. Mine too. Yours was further along than mine, but yeah, we used to have careers, and then the president, who doesn't believe in science, said, "You don't need that no more."
What are you, happy?
Yeah, exactly. You can't have that. Go inside, niggas, and then it was over.
All right, Darryl, you ready for the next one?
Of course.
All right.
Ah, yes, the Auto Blow 2. If you've listened to the show at all, you don't need a visual description of the Auto Blow 2. It's the Auto Blow 2. It is it's a tube. I think the reason they call it the Auto Blow 2 is because there are 2 rows of beads that are supposed to like oscillate and go up and down the fleshlight-like device.
It's 2 because this is second gen.
Yes, obviously. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, it's a new and improved blowjob machine. You know, I think that it is priceless. But I've always been intrigued by this. The auto blow and the auto blow too. I've always been like, really? I'm not gonna pay for it, but I would love to, you know, this would be the thing where if I hope that one day I walk into a store and they have a demo version of it where you can put a hand in it and just experience what it's like to take a couple fingers and throw it in there. But I would say 2016, this was probably like $220. Nowadays, yeah, 180.
So, final answer?
Yeah, 180.
All right, so the Auto Blow 2, and it includes, without its discrete storage case and easy grip handles, and includes some lube. In 2020, when I checked it out today, was $219.96. Oddly close to what you thought it was in 2016.
Wow. Yeah.
Only 4 cents off. However, in 2016, it was actually $159.95. So it's gone up. It's gone up. Yeah.
That's crazy. So they
I guess, yeah, things have gone more expensive as the gap between the rich and the poor has widened. Cool.
It also makes me wonder how much of these are oil-based products, right? Like how many things are being made from like petroleum, and what's the access to the sources?
I didn't even think that they was putting petroleum in these sex deals. That's amazing.
They put in a lot of nonsense.
Yeah, if it's a cheap
Makes
material,
sense,
it might be.
Yeah,
I mean, plastic, you need it.
Yeah, it gives it the rub. But yeah, they not only do they not want you to go outside, they don't want you to come neither. They want you to hurt yourself. You see this? They want you to do something like they're like at this point, they're annoyed. I want you to understand, the bourgeoisie, they are annoyed that we actually alive doing this show right now. They said, you ain't depressed enough yet? You ain't finished? You don't want to do, we've taken away, we make it hard for you to, you can't go outside. You can't get some strange. Ain't no strange for you. Strange is done. That's finished. Nigga, we made it harder. We took your jobs. So you can't pay for these toys to make you come hard. And you still here? Fuck wrong with you? Vote right in November. I'm tired of this.
Vote correctly.
Yeah, vote correctly. Yeah.
Vote correctly. I'm sorry, not vote right. Vote correctly. I'm sorry. It's a demon. Vote.
I don't want to give you any misconceptions of what I said.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're easily led. I need to be as specific as humanly possible.
Vote correctly, and not for the motherfucker that's currently there now. Because you can't leave the house.
All right. So are you ready for the next one?
Toys. Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay. So you each get one more. It is currently tied at whatever. All right, here we go.
Okay, so this is this looks like some VR shit. So I'm bad with this description. Basically, since you can never see your loved one again, or the person that you was having your little play with, right? Because one of y'all now has an anxiety that you need to go to therapy for, but you can't even see your therapist. You got to call your therapist now. So this is a tool that's gonna help y'all have to engage in virtual lovemaking. And actually, they both look like they're masturbatory tools with TVs right next to them. So I don't know how it works, but basically, since you're afraid to go outside now, this is what you're going to use to stimulate yourself to the point of orgasm.
So this is the Kiru Onyx and Pearl set for couples. And the reason they have TVs there is this is an example of teledildonics for long distance lovemaking.
My favorite
word. One of them is made for putting penises in, and one is made for being inserted into vaginas. Yeah. And what is done on one end is felt on the other end, is the idea.
Pressure sensors.
So
this is like in Demolition Man. This is like it's like when they could it's like this sounds engaging.
It's got Bluetooth and video chat as part of its facets.
Black Mirror. Remember that episode? That Black Mirror episode? I feel like get into that.
one of the more one of the darker images that stay with me from Black Mirror is when it's the one where they have that they can like play back all the things that they've seen, like, and they because they have the contacts or whatever, and then they cut to the two of them having sex, but they're both using the things. And so they're both just staring out into space, just mindlessly humping each other while they play back other things. And I was just like, that is a stark.
Yep.
That is, I don't like that.
No, it's
done
terrible.
it before, and I don't like it. I don't like seeing it.
Right.
I don't like the fact that they use technology to make it even easier.
Yeah.
It's a healthy thing to do, but I don't.
This is so with these TV screens. If I'm to understand this correctly, with these TV screens, y'all can watch each other basically go. See, that's it. So guess what, fellas? Your dick pics, no one needs them. Unless that girl asks for, we doing videos of nutting now. Oh, you got a nut on film, nigga. You ready? Are you ready? Are you ready to be a professional? You ready now? Because you think you can handle being you say, I could do porn. You ready, dog? Because we don't do dick pics no more. If you here for it, if you with that smoke, you ready to come on command? You ready to do it? You about to become a man now.
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't think it's on command. I think it's.
That's your life. So
right.
so in this this is terrifying. This tool is there. What I'm seeing is terrifying. It's I didn't like it in Demolition Man. I think that this price. I think it's gone up. I say that this is about maybe $300.
Is that your final answer?
Yes.
So when I checked it out today, the Hero Onyx and Pearl couple retails for $289. That's pretty close. Okay. Which is actually a dramatic reduction from $369, what it was in 2016.
Nice.
So it's like when they feel like reducing prices, they do.
Because they knew we was about to be stuck in the house. They knew in 2016 they said it's over.
I bet you it's because these companies. I'm making a broad sweeping generalization, but these products work with apps. The apps are usually badly written. Mm-hmm. So you're gonna end up with real problems in connectivity and maintaining the video features as you try to use the apps that come along with the devices. And those bad reviews would probably lead to a reduction in price because they're not going to put more R&D money into it after it's out. So I've heard.
Ashley, you ready for yours?
I am. Ooh, okay, Miss Olivia. She is a real doll too. Her skin type is medium. She has no freckles, and her body type is A, which means very skinny white woman. Cool. Cool. I definitely went to high school with this person, this archetype. So real dolls are hella expensive. She's Louise.
She also comes with custom slate eyeshadow contouring, a French manicure, and she is shaved.
So
which is hilarious to say shaved. It's not
like
say
as if
she's from 1999. Actually, she's got a little bit of pink in her hair. She's shaved.
Yeah, that Britney Spears energy.
Yeah, like a little frosted eyeshadow. Absolutely. I mean, nostalgia definitely makes folks buy things. I'm gonna say that this is Miss Olivia is. Oh man, $1,000.
And do you think it is more or less?
Oh, I'm gonna say more. All
right. So when I went and checked today, you could buy Olivia for $6,323.99, which is a reduction from the price in 2016 when she was over $6,800.
Whoa.
They out here creating Skynet, bruh, and you gonna buy it, won't you? You gonna fucking buy it. You gonna buy it.
This is real doll too. It probably doesn't have all the connectivity that the newest ones do, from what I hear.
Bro, we out here create, like, literally survive pandemic. You're gonna buy this Britney doll, and then that's gonna be waiting for you. For real, for a lot. You see, y'all don't see. You guys don't understand. You about to spend $6,000 on this doll. Now I have to give rights because it's gonna gain consciousness, and then I have to acknowledge that it's a living thing because I am a person who is black and I know what it's like to have oppression. So I'm not gonna oppress this machine that seeks to dominate us. But you gonna buy it, won't you? You gonna buy this machine with grip control, dog. You finished.
We just talked about skin hunger and touch starvation. I could totally see someone buying Olivia for COVID-20.
Bro,
Like, you're not gonna get me again. I swear.
What's the fool's name who I can see that dude. What's the dude's name who runs Tesla? Elon Musk. I can see Elon Musk. But I hope when he buys one of these dolls that she snaps his neck.
Oh my God. Okay.
That's what happens when you put people in the house.
All right.
I'm you can edit that if you want to. I'm here.
No, I don't disagree.
Yeah, I'm here for the smoke. I ain't going nowhere. Where am I going?
All right, you ready, Darryl, for the last one?
Yes. Let's go. Ooh, the Pico Bomb. Why do you come up with a name like that? The Pico Bomb is probably the name of the company.
The company, and then it is called the Transformer.
It's called a Transformer. It's a gender-neutral double vibrator.
As was seen in the porn parody, Gasp Away.
Now it has some brand recognition that ups the price. I have to assume that the vibrating ends are at the end. It looks like a jump rope. That's what it looks like. It looks like a silicone jump rope. There are two bulbous kind of handles and then a connecting wire, but it's not quite a wire. It's a cord, I guess, to give you the idea of it's a little girthy. Obviously not as girthy as the handles. To a double vibrator, there's no kind of flared anything because I imagine you're supposed to use both of the ends. So I don't know. It's for your front parts, I would imagine.
Yeah, it is a gender-neutral double vibrator.
Yeah. So I just wonder, does it have one setting? Can you do two different settings? What does it feel like in the middle? It's so many questions. But because it's double, it's for two people. 120.
And do you think that is up or down from previously?
Oh man. Let's say up.
Final answer?
Yeah.
Okay. So when I looked today, the Pico Bond Transformer was available for $103, which is down from what it was previously at $129.
Oh, wow.
So what that means for us is that with the closest guess going to Setoiyo, you are our winner.
Again? Do you not see it?
Undefeated. So for your prize, you get to give your promo first. Where can people find out more about you?
Yeah, thank you so much. You guys can check me out on Instagram and on Twitter. My handle is @Setoiyo1. That is SETOIYO. I post my content. I post stuff. All the things that you heard me say here, and some, I talk reckless. I don't even think it's reckless. I think I'm talking, and some of y'all are sensitive to the plight of horror. But I am here regardless. So please do follow me, and thank y'all so much for having me. I greatly appreciate it.
Thank you. How about you, Ashley?
My Instagram is @Coleman_all_day. And my Venmo, because we're all struggling in this COVID world, is @Ashley-Coleman-1865, like the year of emancipation. Yeah, follow me. I'm open for consulting work and talking about anti-racism.
Hire this woman to be on your panels and to teach your place how to put together events. If you have a business and you do events, hire Ashley Coleman.
Cool. Me? Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Please go get my album, Black Gentrifier. It's in stores. You can get it. I tell you every week. You know, go to my website, DarrylCharlesComedy.com. You can find out places I am. You know, find me online every Sunday. For the past like 14 Sundays, I've been at Sucks to Be Quarantined at 9:00. It's a fun little open mic that we do on the Zooms. I am essentially just a heckler. Sometimes I host, but for the most part, I just interrupt people and, in a loving way, make them feel bad. So get that. It Sucks to Be Quarantined at Fergie's. I think it has its own Facebook page, but you know you can find it there, and on the YouTubes, which is where this will be.
Sure. Coming up July 10th, we're going to be doing Get You a Babe Who Can Do Both in collaboration with the National Liberty Museum. So if you want to hear some burlesquers give TED Talks and then do burlesque, this is the show. So we're going to be featuring Shay Olay, who is based out of both Baltimore and New York, an incredible typhoon of temptation. We'll be talking about haptics and touch. And then Elsa Riot, based out of Boston, will be talking about how Dungeons and Dragons makes you a better person. And I will be talking about social media censorship. Yeah, parties. So you can find your tickets. It's actually an incredibly low price ticket, National Liberty Museum's website. And that's July 10th. And then catch DTF every Friday.
We're here. We ain't going nowhere as long as the internet holds up. I've been listening to a Stephen King short story audiobook, and the story that they're on now is about the internet going out and how people were dealing with it. And I was like, not like this. Not like this.
Can't deal with that.
Like this is a level of horror I didn't want.
Yeah, we can't even do that. It's all we got. This is it. This is it, dog. For real. Like, is it? You actually can't take this shit away. They want to take it away. You got to fight.
Well, they want to privatize it. So
yeah,
yes.
they do. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, it is privatized at this point. They just want to further privatize it. Oh.
All right. Well, Ashley Setoiyo, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me. Thank you so much. It's just a lot of fun.
And thank you everybody for listening and checking in every week. We'll see you next time.